Hey good people, it's your progressively older buddy Mark from VintageAudioNagoya with part 2 of the possibly 10-part series looking at vintage Japanese tape echoes. And today we're going to focus on MIRANO. This is the only MIRANO that I have here currently, and this is a 3R. Now I just sold a 3RS that I'm going to be sharing some pictures of. And I'll also share a few shots of some other MIRANOs I've had over the years, but I don't currently have. But just to give you an idea of the MIRANO line. And at the end of the video, I'm going to throw in a short clip of a custom SS501, which I didn't have, but just picked one up so I can show you what they look like in person as opposed to just those pictures I lifted off the net. So stick around, come back, check out this beast. This one's a little noisy, so we don't get a good feel for how it really functions. But I'll give you an inside look at it, and you kind of get the impression or the general take on the MIRANO series. So this is a tube-operated tape echo that just spews ambiance. So here's a few stills of the MIRANO 3, and full disclosure, I'm using my PC mic, so you're hearing a lot of fan noise and a lot more drinking than proper editing has been going on at up to this point. So my apologies. However, but let's take a look at it. You can see how beautiful that back area is, those warm glowing tubes. I mean, they're just terrific machines. So here's what I think happened. We got the MIRANO 3. And next up, we're going to have the MIRANO 3R, which I just sold this one here to my buddy Chris in Detroit, and he's going to be loving this thing once he gets it dialed in. But I believe that MIRANO was basically a tube-based company, and when solid state came around, they started to pay other companies. For example, this is a Hawk labeled a MIRANO, and I don't know any of this, to be honest, but I've kind of put this together, I think, based on items I've had. But this is a Hawk-made machine with a MIRANO name on it, and we'll look at the inside of this. Coming up after this will be a MIRANO labeled machine, which is truly just a custom, which you'll recognize the face from the previous series if you did watch that one. And notice also that there's a color change on the face between this one and the next one. Just kind of interesting. I'm not sure what the significance is there. But this is the MK101, which is MIRANO custom, and again, I believe they just paid other people to make the machines. But let's get back to the one we're looking at today, which is the MIRANO 3, and we'll take a good look at the insides and demo it for you. Got a rainy day here in Nagoya, so that's a little bit of pitter-patter you're hearing outside. But here's a MIRANO 3R, and it's a beauty. Let's spin it around and you can take a look at it. Kind of a plain side here. This one has not an original screw in this side here. It's a screw and washer as opposed to that kind of a recessed washer. Here's the back, and at night I'll turn this around, I'll plug it in, you can see it glowing, but it really looks wonderful with the lights shining through. Got a fan and motor operation up here, and then all the tubes down the chassis. This side has a small door here where you can keep a foot switch and the power cord, very specific cord to these machines. Just everything's built right, you know. It's a metal door, but it has the Tolex on it. Beautiful piano hinge. I mean, they're just such well-built units. And let's see if we can see the underside here. Well, it's not easy, but it's just a hinge and 4 bumpers on the bottom. And the top has a nice handle here. And beautiful chrome hinges. Again, these things are so well built. So let's open it up. And the cover comes off. You just kind of pull that off. The hinges, you know, have a little loop on them. And there it is in all of its glory. I mean, they're just gorgeous machines. Here's a quick look inside this MIRANO 3. And apparently it was number 41 as far as cabinets are concerned, but I really like these things. They're, you know, no chipboard anywhere. It's solid wood and staple gun, not just glued. I mean, they really built these things back in the day. Here's a quick look inside of the motor assembly. As you can see, it's in really good shape. The belt's nice and clean, still very pliable. I didn't replace the belt, still in good condition. The tubes and the chassis are gorgeous. I'm going to flip it over here and show you that in just a second. This is upside down at the moment because of the wiring situation. And here's a quick look at the back side of the motor assembly and the underside of the chassis. This beautiful point-to-point wiring. And they're just extremely well made old units. You know, these electrolytic capacitors should be replaced on it at some point. And just one more look before I put this back together. '41 and 41. You can see the chassis and the cabinets were matched to one another. Okay, here's the MIRANO plugged in, and right now I'm not talking through the mic, and the motor's not spinning. So here I am talking through the mic on this thing, and now at this point, the motor's not turning. But here's our tone control. We can still adjust our tone, and you can see our input level respond now. Again, that's a tube that's creating that magic eye that never quite shows up right on a video, but in person it's absolutely fascinating to look at. So let's turn the motor on. However, I'm going to pause for a second and just listen to the crackling hum that is existing. So again, we're definitely in need of a recap here, but let's turn that motor on, and now you can hear the echo. Check, 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 and that was 2. This is 1. Check, check, check is a real, check. 1 is a real quick, brief echo, and this is our repeat level. So that's 1, 2, 2. Check, 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 check. There's 2, 3, 3 is a little more of a sustained, longer repeat. Check, 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 check. 4, check, check, check. 5 is kind of a swell. Check, check. 6, more of a singular repeat. This is a quick tape I made for it. It's not the best tape in the world. You can hear and see a little bit of flutter in that tape because I didn't quite join the ends perfectly. I was just doing it to test, and haven't got around to making another one for it. Check. So that gives you a quick idea how it sounds. Now, it doesn't really, because these things sound so much better when they're recapped, they're silent and properly working. They just are warm and wonderful. So it's hard to really gauge with this amount of background noise on it. But again, they're just beautiful machines. I'm going to pick up the tripod here, which never is a successful endeavor. But let's take a look at this thing. Let's see if we can get a feel for how that level indicator works. Check, check, check. You can see those 2 items, 2 pieces come together towards the middle. Check, check. But again, it just doesn't show up well on a video at all. But they're really an absolutely gorgeous machine. Now I'm going to spin it around and show you the back side here, which I do in another segment of this video, but you can look at it here too. Oh man, is that beautiful? Look at that. Oh,
These things are just gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, that gives you a feel for it. I need to get this thing capped so we can really revel in its absolute glory.
And here's a quick look at it with the lights off. And I'll spin this around. I'm going to try to do it while holding it, so it's not the best method. And they're just stunning machines to look at. Those glowing tubes, I mean, just absolutely fantastic. It projects a little bit of a, you know, that wire mesh comes through the back and you can see the outline of the tube on the wall. Really beautiful machines. Here's another kind of a close-up look at this thing, and again, you can see that magic eye one more time. Now, you can hear some noise occasionally, and the way to check this is just touch each one of these rollers until you determine which one it is. And I already know it's this one. But if I lubricate that roller with a little silicone-based lubricant, because it's a plastic, you know, it'll quiet right down. But so, just in a nutshell, what we've got is a record head, an erase head, and 3 play heads. This is our input volume, our output volume, and turns the motor on. This adjusts the amount of repeats on it. And this is our tone control. We have an off, and so it just behaves as a preamp, and then an echo, which doesn't give any repeats. It just varies a single repeat, single echo. And then when you hit the repeat button, you can control the amount of repeats on it. And then we've got 5 moods. I don't know if it's supposed to be mode or if they really think it is a mood, but it puts you in a mood. So we've got 6 moods here. And then there's a fuse on the front, 100-volt power output, and a remote switch, an output for a mixer, and just a regular output. So you've got 2 output choices on it. Wonderful machines, and again, the camera never quite captures the beauty of how this thing looks in person, but it's just stunning to look at. Love them. Definitely got to get that guy lubricated. Okay, people, as promised, here's a bonus look at this Custom SS501. And I didn't have one of these when I made that first video about the Custom, so let's just take a look at it. Pretty cool machine. It's the second one of these I've had, and really high quality machines. Kind of designed, I think, to be used in the home stereo realm. You can run a source in here. Karaoke is huge in Japan, as I think most people know. And singing at home is kind of a fun pastime for people, especially 70s, 80s. So with the AUGs, you can run, you know, a karaoke tape or album or whatever source you want into it, and then you can sing along with this. Vocal canceling things were pretty popular too, where it kind of manipulates the sound of a regulation CD or tape to try to eliminate the vocals. It doesn't work great, but it does take out the sound of the vocals to some extent and allows you to sing along a little bit more. So I think that's what this was aimed at, the home karaoke market. But still an awesome piece of equipment. It's got you know, line outs, 1/4-inch line out, and inputs, and as well as RCA ins and outs. So let's just take a listen to this thing. We've got our speed control over here. Check. I'm so close to the phone that it's hard to hear what's happening here, but let's take a listen. Check. 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 And here's our level of repeats, the volume of the echo. Check. Check.
check, 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 check. And a decent treble bass control on here as well. A lot of bass added to this one. So you can skip the echo altogether and just use it as a preamp and still adjust your bass and treble here. Or add that to it. So this controls the volume of the auxiliary input that you're putting in. So a pretty nice machine. I'll show you the back here real quick. And it's an 8-track based unit. This one has the original tape in it, which is terrific. We got 2 auxiliary inputs and a line out. So, certainly a good looking unit, and sounding pretty good. Okay, that's going to do it for this round. We've got the MIRANO overview and the little custom SS501 addendum here. So thanks for checking them out, and I will be doing a few more of these, so stick around and check out some of the other 60s, 70s tape echoes from Japan that you may not be aware of. Take care.